We try to bring you high-quality educational and informational content every single day. Why do you think the price is having such an anemic time? The news story of the hour. Jump onto the chart. Is this the beginning of a massive financial unraveling? We got to add a little addendum to the show map today. So we start here on the daily. Now, we've been looking at the RSI on Bitcoin's daily chart for the last several days. It always has been, but it's been increasing over the last 50 years since the government has been bigger. Hey guys, what's going on? Jeb here, and welcome back to Coffee and Crypto Live. This is your week daily morning show where we bring you the latest and everything Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. And in today's episode, we are going to be talking about why Bitcoin is just potentially hours away from a massive breakout above critical resistance in the low $30,000 region. Now, before we get started, I want to apologize for being so late. Just about everything that could go wrong technically went wrong today. Literally, we couldn't find one of our pieces of hardware. Then that one didn't work. Then this one didn't work. And yeah, there was quite a lot working against us this morning, so I do apologize for that. But we are here, and we are excited to be bringing you Coffee and Crypto Live. We might not be able to go the full 45 minutes today, maybe 15 to 20 minutes, just because we've, got a lot to do. But I really appreciate being here, really appreciate seeing all of you guys, over the 100 people that are already tuning in. Thank you so much. Let's see. Dan Nolan is in chat, said, let's get started right now. Philly Skills in chat. Jonathan Weiner, Michael Parsons, Alex Nybo, Eric Ward, Philly Skills. Crypto Chap Ayush said, morning, Jeb. Good morning to you. All right, guys, really appreciate all of you being here. Let's go ahead and jump right on over to CoinMarketCap and jump into it since we are running behind. Right now, Bitcoin is trading at $30,500. It's up 15% over the last 7 days, down 0.79% over the last 24 hours. There has been this plateauing action going on over the last few days, somewhat similar to Vladimir Putin's career. We might talk about that a little bit later. And it has been just kind of plateauing up here around these levels, as you can see right here. Lux Algo originally on Tuesday of last week gave us a buy signal around $26,000 on June the 20th that gave us a take profit all the way up to this middle area of about $32,500. Bitcoin ever since Friday has been trading right below this resistance at $31,000. So now the question on everyone's mind, including I'm sure yours and mine, is whether or not Bitcoin will break above $31,000 and break up towards $32,500 or not. So let's go ahead and analyze just that. Bitcoin, as you can see, has gone on a massive tear and broken through a couple of very crucial levels of resistance. It's broken through this level right here, this downtrending level, and when it did, Bitcoin broke very aggressively on the BlackRock news. From there, Bitcoin has also set two higher highs up here on the 4-hourly chart for Bitcoin. Now, one of the concerns that you may see that some analysts are pointing out, and I would agree that this is a concern, is that we do have bearish RSI divergence on the 4-hourly chart and bearish MACD divergence on the 4-hourly chart as well. That's not something that I'm terribly concerned about, however, because you a lot of times will see bearish RSI divergence at the top of a massive rally like this. And the real simple reason for that is that a run this large is going to lead to a massive spike in RSI, whereas this second run is not going to lead to as massive of a spike in RSI. I don't think that the RSI divergence here means that Bitcoin is going to go through this massive flash crash. I do think that it just means that for the time being, following that RSI divergence, that Bitcoin was going to go through some kind of correction, even if it wasn't a price action correction, but potentially a correction in time. And I think that's what we're seeing right now. We're seeing Bitcoin trade sideways up here with that RSI divergence, that bearish RSI divergence, and also with the fact that our Lux Algo buy signal that came in back here gave us a take profit up here between $30,700 and $31,500. So it's very exciting to see that Bitcoin is able to hold these gains and lock them in. One of the things to point out here on the 4-hourly chart is that Bitcoin is witnessing a bullish bullish symmetrical triangle pattern right now. These are bull patterns for anyone who's been through CT2A or Club DeFi's Principles of Technical Analysis. You can find those links in the description box down below. Those are our academies where we teach you guys technical analysis. Whenever Bitcoin goes into a massive rally like this, oftentimes it will trade sideways, if not going through a major drop. And if it does trade sideways in this pattern, again, this is called a symmetrical triangle pattern, and they are continuation patterns. This pattern would have a price target drawn as follows. You would have the price target drawn from here, June 19th of 2023, around $26,300, and bring it all the way up here to around $31,500. If we extrapolate right here, we can see that the price target would give us a price, the price targeting method that we use would give us a price target of nearly $36,000. Now, whether that will come to pass or not is yet to be seen. I think the Bitcoin will probably stop out before that point. I think the Bitcoin has a strong likelihood of going to $32,500. That'd be right around the center level of the take profit on the daily chart buy signal for Lux Algo. But even if it doesn't go all the way to 32.5, Bitcoin has made massive gains, recovering all of the losses that Bitcoin put in through all of the bearish news, including Fed rate hikes, CPI data being lackluster, SEC attacking crypto, the $6,000 that Bitcoin lost over the course of 62 days. Bitcoin recovered that $6,000 in 6.2. And so we have seen that the bulls have come back in a strong way. So even if Bitcoin does not manage to break above 31K right now, the bulls have absolutely asserted their dominance in a way that is completely and totally undeniable. Now, one trend line that I am going to draw that I think may end up becoming interesting on our chart is a little bit interesting to see. I'm going to draw this trend line right here. And you might think, Jeb, where in the world are you getting this trend line from? Well, this trend line is coming from our local top that we set here on February the 19th, our local bottom that we set here on April 24th, and our local top that we set here on the 30th of May, as well as some price action trading that happened here. I think that what may end up happening here is that Bitcoin's going to need some more time before it can break bullish above $31,000, and it will need some time to consolidate here, if not even going through a larger drop before breaking above 31. Bitcoin's level at 31K is very strong, and we mustn't forget that Bitcoin broke to these levels because of exuberance from the BlackRock news. We have now exhausted the reinforcements that Bitcoin got from that news, so Bitcoin is going to have to find it in itself to go through a major rally. And that's where the technical analysis is so important, because we need to understand the technical analysis is not just the art of predicting which direction the market goes as if we're all a bunch of fancy meteorologists on price action charts, but at least the meteorologist, the weathermen you see on TV, where they're, everything that you see them do is saying, this is what's going to happen, this is what's going to happen. What we are as technical analysts are almost kind of like meteorologists. It's our job to work in the land of probability and to understand scientifically and artistically what Bitcoin is doing. There's an art to technical analysis, but studying technical analysis is a science. Doing technical analysis is an art. Studying it is a science. And so you need both. Studying technical analysis is going to tell us that this is a level we need to look out for. This is why the bulls are stronger today. This is where the bears might be strong here in a week. This is a trend line that's very important. This convergence was very bullish for the market. This bearish divergence was very bearish for the market. Whatever it is, technical analysis is the art, not the science, of understanding how to read charts, but it is also the science of analyzing what the market is telling you and what it's doing and studying it scientifically. So, what the technical analysis is telling me today, and what's been telling me over the weekend, is that Bitcoin is going to need to pay very close attention to its flanks, because Bitcoin's massive rally here has left it a little bit exposed. I like to use the warfare analogy just because the bulls and the bears are almost like two armies that are just duking it out. Whenever an army moves this far, this quickly, as Bitcoin has done, it needs to watch out for its flanks, because it is easily encirclable. In a modern conflict, and by modern I mean the last, 500 years, if you have an army breach through the line, then that means that you're going to end up having the ability for the other army to come back and basically cut off the advancement, and then this advanced army is going to end up becoming encircled and captured because they're cut off from supplies and reinforcements. It's a little bit like what you need to watch out for in Bitcoin. When Bitcoin rallies this far, it really needs to establish a bulkhead, and it really needs to establish proper supply and reinforcement supply chains. And so the analogy there is that whenever you break through a line in modern conflict, you need to watch out very closely for. You need to watch very closely for being encircled. But at the same time, on Bitcoin, whenever you break through a major resistance level, you need to watch very closely for the bears coming in and absolutely pummeling you. And the more technical way that works is that when you extend very far on Bitcoin, you shatter all the order walls. Remember, the order walls are like this. They're a giant canyon that Bitcoin sits in the middle of, with all the buy orders going up and all the sell orders going up, or the sell orders and the buy orders, whichever exchange you're on. Sometimes they're different, going back and forth, left and right. When you move the market this far, you completely erase all of those canyon walls, all of the buy and the sell walls. So you have to rebuild all of them. That's where the support really comes from, actually, is the order book. The technical analysis just tells us where people are likely to place those orders. The order book is what actually tells us realistically where the walls are. And so when you move this far, you have to convince all of those bulls that had buy orders below the price $6,000 ago to put all of that, if not most of that, buy pressure right below them again. And if they don't, then that's going to become a big problem because the market's going to end up dropping through the floor and you could end up losing quite a lot of that momentum. So with Bitcoin, what does that entail? With Bitcoin, what that entails is that we could have a small controlled pullback, oftentimes using the modern warfare analogy. Whenever an invading army would break into another territory, they might push farther than they actually keep. They might push 100 miles and they might only keep 75. But the point is, it's not that they lost 25 miles, it's that they gained 75. And so you kind of look at it like, okay, it's not that we gained 100, lost 75, it's that we gained 75 and then we just held on to 100 temporarily. Similarly for Bitcoin, when it's going on a rampage like this, might gain $6,300, $6,500. But if Bitcoin does not actually keep all of those gains, that's not a bad thing. It's okay if Bitcoin goes through a small correction. I think what would be healthy for Bitcoin here is going through a small correction down to this movement and then going through a major breakout. As far as the point about Bitcoin could be hours away from a breakout, what I mean by that is that down here on the hourly to the 4-hourly chart, Bitcoin is very deep into this symmetrical triangle pattern right now, and this pattern will likely break today with exuberance, as in within the next 12 hours. Bitcoin's attempting to break bullish out of it right now, and that could throw everything that I just said on its head. Bitcoin looks very bullish on the hourly chart, so it would not surprise me at all to see a breakout coming here. The point I want to make, again, as a technical analyst, is not just our job. That is part of it, but it's not just our job to say it's going to go up, it's going to go down. No, it's also part of our job to warn that something may happen, even if we don't know exactly what it is. For example, you would rather have a meteorologist tell you there's a thunderstorm coming with a chance of a tornado. And maybe the tornado doesn't happen, maybe just a thunderstorm comes, maybe there's no thunderstorm, maybe a tornado comes. But the idea is that you got a warning that, hey, look, something's coming. And I might not be able to tell you exactly what it is because I don't have a DeLorean that has a flux capacitor in the back. But what I can tell you is that there is likely to be something coming that you need to watch out for. And so in technical analysis, what that is like right now is that over the next 12 to 24 hours, I am here to tell you that there is likely to be a major movement. That movement, probably $500 to $1,000 in size. It could be bullish, it could be bearish. What we need to pay attention to is the way the market is moving. And even down here on the minute chart, Bitcoin had a very large rally, and now the bears are very much in charge. What you're seeing happen right now is a lot of pre-shocks. If you have an earthquake, sometimes there are kind of warning tremors. They call them tremors. There's tremors that come up before the actual major earthquake. And right now, the market is seeing tremors. The market is seeing movements begin, but we're going to have to wait and see how things shake out. Which way will Bitcoin go? Ultimately, it doesn't really matter because you can place a trade on either one of these. It is useful to make price predictions. It is useful to give detailed predictions about which direction you think the market will go, but it's even more practical for trading purposes to just be ready for both and then pick the trade that ends up coming true. And then you have the ability to profit on both scenarios rather than saying, oh, there's a 70% chance it's going to go down. And then if there's a 30% chance it goes up, then you just didn't get a trade. It's better to be prepared for both. So this symmetrical triangle pattern is what's governing much of Bitcoin's technical landscape right now. If Bitcoin breaks down, I would recommend looking at an input around $30,000 or $30,250. At that point, that would mean that Bitcoin has broken below this candle wick right here. I would use a very conservative stop loss, at least for the very beginning, because it's possible that Bitcoin is just setting a lower wick down here. And if you catch a little bit of a wick down here and get some profit, then that's not the end of the world. But what I would say is that if you are going to short this market, because you are betting against the uptrend, if you are going to short this market, use a very conservative stop loss. Because there is this wick down here, this little scam wick down here that indicates we could go lower. Now, on top of that, if we break to the upside, then use a very conservative stop loss as well. To start with, as the market's moving farther and as you're in more profit, you can use less and less of a stop loss. But a general principle of trading, remember we talk about our principles of financial sovereignty, our principles of technical analysis, our principles of trading, our principles of investment, all these principles. A principle of trading is that when you first get into a trade, use a tight stop loss. And if you're already in 10, 20, 30, 40, 50% profit, then you can back off and say, all right, I'm going to use a less of a stop loss because if it goes down a little bit, I'm already in profit. The idea is that if the market goes up $100 and you're in a long, market goes up $100, then use like a 0.1% stop loss. If Bitcoin's up $1,000 and maybe use a 1% stop loss, your stop loss can increase proportionally to the amount of profit that the trade is already in. Let me say that again. The stop loss can increase proportionately to the amount of profit that the trade is already in. So if your trade is just getting started, use a very conservative stop loss. As the trade grows in profitability, if the market moves that way, then you can open up that stop loss a little bit because you're not risking as much because you're already in profit. And even if you hit the stop loss, you're not going to lose money. You're just going to lose an opportunity, which is definitely a loss, but it's a whole lot different. So is Bitcoin about to go through a major breakout? I think in the next 12 to 24 hours, Bitcoin probably will attempt to break out of here. I'd give it at least a 70% likelihood we have a breakout of $500 to $1,000, but I would give it a 30% likelihood that Bitcoin trades sideways here, straight out of the symmetrical triangle pattern. I've seen that happen plenty of times where Bitcoin goes through a massive breakout, and then it has a symmetrical triangle pattern that makes us think, oh, we're about to have more volatility, and Bitcoin says, nope, I need another week and a half to think about this and trade sideways. That is possible, and that is healthy. If that happens, it's not a bad thing. Right now, Bitcoin is in an overall healthy state, whether it goes up, down, or sideways. It is in a pretty solidly healthy state so long as Bitcoin doesn't drop like $3,000 or $4,000. We are still pretty bullish on Bitcoin. So there's a breakout coming in the next 4 hours. I do, not in the next 4 hours, but in the next few hours. By few, I mean 12 to 24 at the most. I think that's a greater than not likelihood that will happen. As far as on the order of the next couple of weeks, I think that we're going to look out for a giant symmetrical triangle pattern being formed in here, and then Bitcoin may try and break out moving into the month of June. All right, guys, I did obviously start quite late, so I'm going to have to wrap out a good bit early, but I really appreciate that. Mike Lowry said, good morning, everyone. Sorry I'm late for class. Wait, you just started, lol. You were late too. Yeah, like I said, I have a Stream Deck right here, for example. This is just one thing that threw us off this morning. I have a Stream Deck. Incredible product. For some reason, didn't want to work. My cam link over here that connects to my camera, it went missing, and I had to go find the thing. The camera didn't want to turn on. Just about everything that could go wrong this morning technically did go wrong. But we are here, and I really appreciate all of you for tuning in. All right, Bitcoin Trendy said, what's going on? Not a whole lot. Just hanging in there and making content. PVXX in chat. Silas E. Borg said, what up, crypto fam? Bedrock will endure. That's correct. I definitely agree. Grand Roofing Incorporated said, good morning, Jeb. Good morning, everyone. Happy Monday. Hashtag FinSov. Happy Monday indeed. Joe Bollier in chat said, good morning, Jeb. Hello. Good morning to you as well. All right. Any final questions before I wrap it out, guys? Like I said, I do really apologize for us being late. What are your thoughts on ADA with the SEC issues? I think that ADA is going to have a lot of trouble, as are all of the altcoins. I'm not saying ADA is in any more trouble than the rest of the altcoins, but I think that along with the altcoins, ADA is going to have difficulties because of the amount of assault that the crypto space is coming under. I think right now is a great time to be in Bitcoin. I do question how great of a time it is to be getting into altcoins. Now, some of them are on a great discount, so if you're going to hold them for 5 to 10 years, really believe in the project, these might be the best prices you'll ever see. All right, so if you're an investor, don't get too discouraged. But what I will say is that it's probably going to be a rough couple of years for the altcoins following all this. You guys know how long the XRP case has taken. It's been going for, what, over 3 years now? Something to that effect. So guys, make sure if you did enjoy today's video, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit that post notification bell, and please forgive me for running late. I really appreciate your grace on that. We are trying to do as good of a job as we possibly can, being timely, and obviously just a lot of things happened this morning. So, like I said, that's going to wrap it out for today's stream. Before I go, I do just first want to thank each and every single last one of you for watching, as always, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.